you accept your faulty goods, I've got to that point. If you got to that where it's a wiring issue, you can't fix this. So you get to head office, get to heaven and demand a refund, you know? You guys are pulling back. Are you religious? Are you religious? Being religious is just an easy way to tell if someone's got a learning disability or one. So as soon as you can read, you realise it's a pyramid scheme for paedophiles. That's good. Yes! Yes, now we're on. None of it made sense, man. I remember growing up, I'm like, if heaven's so good, why don't we go there now, Dad? Like, you work at Bunnings, we live in a duplex, what are we doing? We're in Adventure World car park, slinging hot dogs, let's jump the fence and go on sky rides, Daddy, what the fuck? Do you know the only people that need religion? Old people. Can see some in the crowd now, fucking clock's ticking. Why do one religion? Why not treat it like a sports bet multi? Do you know? Go and get blessed by every priest in the land. Wouldn't you do it? Do you know what I wouldn't do? Buddhism. Are you in for Buddha? Buddha's a big boy, man. He's a big boy. A big boy. I'm not getting spiritual advice from a comfort eater. Do you know what I mean? Clear your mind, clear another plate, you fat fuck. Trying to eat your way through your problems. You can't be happy and be that big, buddy. Do you know what I mean? I think I prefer fat people to skinny though. Are you sick of the skinny guy? Do you know that skinny guy at Fitness First? The trainer? Personal trainer? Jeff with the fucking six pack? Trying to explain science to you and you're like, you dropped out in year 10, dickhead. Do you know what I mean? He's in there going, oh, you gotta eat less. You gotta get it. I'm not eating because I'm hungry, Jeff. I'm eating because I'm sad. I'm in a vehicle just shoving meat into my sad hole, you fuckhead. Do you know what I mean? I just wish I could get more comfortable with my body. I have no confidence. Even on Pornhub, I'm downloading girls with fucking braces. I can't even do it, but wouldn't you want to get comfortable with your body? Even when I said that, I can people seizing up. Don't you want to get to that age where you can just be like that old guy in the surf club? Do you know the guy that just wander around naked, just going, yeah, that's my dick, deal with it? It curls up like a pig's tail, whatever, oink oink.
Love this city. Love it here. I like it here because it reminds me of my hometown. I originally grew up in Cairns. That's a good tourism slogan for Cairns. Ooh. Have you been? A couple of times. What was your favourite part? Just to see the site? What site exactly? The airport. I've never felt like I was being bullied so quickly before. Did you go to Gilligan's Backpackers?
No.
Oh, you would have loved it. You can get fingered behind a bin. It's one of the most incredible... Like, you want some local culture. That's it. And it's not like I wouldn't put you behind a bad bin in the jug. It's a big, it's a big skip bin. It's like a nice... I wouldn't put you like behind a waste paper bin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm giving you decency in the gag. You're way too tall. How tall are you? 6 foot? Look, I'm not like a connoisseur in bin fingering, but I reckon, unless your vagina is above a skip bin, you can get away with it. It's more about keeping your face neutral. Because the top of the bin's about there on you. So anything can happen here as long as you're not... The issue is when you start doing... That's when you get in trouble. Just a little local tip for next time you visit. Oh yeah! Round of applause for a bin fingering gag at 5 in the afternoon. This is the Fringe, baby!
My girlfriend's American. She's been trying to learn about Australia, and so I've been taking her around. I just took her to Canberra. It's so funny. You should 100% go to Canberra if you haven't. It's so funny, the contradictions. Because she took me to Washington, D.C., right? We went to the Capitol on January the 6th. We stormed it. It was a good time. But she took me there. We were there in December. It's freezing cold. There's no one in Congress, but there's tens of thousands of Americans. I'm here to see the greatest Congress on earth for the greatest democracy on earth. I love America. I took her to Canberra. We went to Parliament House. There was one guy there, and he was like, "You don't have to come in." And it was Anthony Albanese. Like, that's how bad it is. Highly recommend getting a tour of Parliament House if you can, because here's the thing, they don't know anything, because they're Australians. They took us down this hallway. They said, this is the hallway of prime ministers. We have a portrait of every prime minister. And my girlfriend pointed at one and said, who's that? And our tour guide said, some cunt. She had no idea. It's so funny. Because that's the great thing about Australia is we don't give a fuck about our politicians. Really, we don't care that much. Like Americans killed them. They've shot 4 presidents. We don't do. Harold Holt went for a swim, and that's at our level. In America, it's like the president has been shot. Here, it's like They love politicians. They have Mount Rushmore. They have carved presidents into a mountain. Can you imagine that in Australia? You wouldn't trim ScoMo's head into a fucking hedge. Unless someone was like, hey, a dog's going to shit in that hedge? You'd be like, oh, fuck, let me... When we met, she lived in the George Washington apartment building on Thomas Jefferson Avenue. That's where we hooked up the first night we were together. Can you imagine that in this country? Going to cop a route at the Tony Abbott apartment complex? It's not happening. We're different cultures. That's the real thing. We have tall poppy syndrome in this country. Like, if Martin Luther King was an Aussie, it wouldn't have worked, would it? Like, he would have gotten up there, he would have been like, I have a dream! And we would have been like, fucking listen to Martin, he's got a fucking dream. All right, mate. All right, mate. We've all got dreams, mate. There'd be one guy at the back like, shut up, cunt!
It's good though, it's nice. I love that you're so willing and sharing about your wonderful stories about bin fingering. I'm also in a relationship. I just moved in with my partner. You guys live together? Yes. Nice. How long have you been doing that for?
3 years.
3 years? That's exciting. That's nice. I'll just leave you to it. What's happening here? You like swingers? You're trying to add more people? It's like, yeah, 3 years. 3 years, we're ready to expand, actually, if you want to pass that down the line. 3 years, what are you at? Maybe you get in here. Keys in the bowl, you know how it is, we'll figure it out. We're interested. I don't know, like, what was your first date? A 10K? What the fuck? A 10K run? Fuck you, you guys suck. Yeah, boo! What the fuck? Together? Or were you doing a 10K run? He's like coming up behind you, like... Because that's not a date, that's stalking. That's a very high-speed stalk that's going on. 10K run? Fucking hell! You didn't want to start with a walk? Jesus. And like, how, did you just like talk on the run? A bit, yeah. Sorry. Fuck. Alright. And then afterwards, what'd you do after that? You'd be too tired to fuck. Coffee. Fucking hell. I'll tell you, my girlfriend and I, our first date, we've been living together for about a year now. Our first date, 3 months in a relationship actually, it wasn't the first, but 3 months in, we went to an adult shop together. Yeah. Anyone been to an adult shop recently at all? Fuck, of course you have over there, the fucking... We know what you're doing, mate. What's your adult shop? What's in this bin, actually? What's in there? You guys been to an adult shop before? What'd you get? A few things. I like that answer. It's like you went and got a trolley. So, we're doing the weekly shop. Let's get in here. Let's chuck a couple of things in. Flavoured condoms. That's our meal plans. Let's go. My girlfriend and I went. I also understand 3 months into a relationship, it is kind of alarming. So early in a relationship for her to look at me and be like, let's get some help. What do you reckon? Yeah, that hurts, but we went in there. I don't know if you noticed this, but every adult shop I've ever been to, I noticed the store clerk that works at the adult shop is always the most enthusiastic person on the fucking planet. Yeah, they love their job. Isn't it crazy? Who would have thought that's job satisfaction right there? You walk in, they're stoked to see you. You're like, what the fuck is up? Have you got something in you now? Why are you so excited? You work in retail. Mine was crazy. I walked in there, as soon as we went in, the bell rang, and it was a set of balls as the bell. I thought that was a nice touch. But we walked in, and as soon as I got in, this fucking bald, sweaty, lubed up man just slid over with his salad fingers. Yeah, right up in my face, being like, hey, coming in, look at my wares. I'm like, get away from me, you sexy golem. I had to say to the guy, because I was like, this is not the customer service experience I'm after when I come to an adult shop, you know what I mean? Relax, dude. It took me 4 goes just to get into the shop. It's like someone spotted me on the way in and I got embarrassed. I had to pretend like I didn't know where I was going. Just walking in, just being like, oh, that's not Macca's. What was I thinking? I don't know. I said, bro, you need to relax. I was like, I want you to be more like Coles checkout. You know what I mean? Like, relax a little bit. I need you to be like first day Coles checkout. You know what I mean? No eye contact. Scan my shit. Let me leave with my shame. But instead, this guy's talking to me like some nerd at JB Hi-Fi that's used every appliance in the store and just can't wait to give me a review as he's scanning it, you know what I mean? He's just like, oh yeah, the 12-incher, I finished that in a week, you're gonna love it.
We good? Yeah. Fantastic, it's so good to be here, one of my favourite places. I'll be honest though, it's great to be anywhere at the moment. Things are kind of fucked at home. My wife just got one of those babies, that's it. I tell you, I've got to stop saying like just had one because we're in January now, so he's nearly 8 years old, right? Summer holidays are hard. They're difficult. Always trying to find something to do. We took him camping. We went on a family camping trip. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. It's kind of fun. Here's the thing. Like, I'm not a very outdoorsy type of person. I was born in Ireland. I grew up in England. I get sunburned under a crescent moon. Like. I had to wear sunscreen to come in here. Like, these spotlights are no joke for my people. I'm not very outdoorsy at all. And it shows, like, when I do stuff like this. You know, my son's very smart, right? He's a very smart little boy. And he was doing research. He was, you know, watching YouTube videos and stuff about the camping and all that kind of jazz. And he goes, what do you do if you get lost then? And I was like, mate, because this is the thing, like, you have an idea in your head, but then you realise that you actually don't know what you're talking about. I was like, look, if you get lost, you look up, you find like the brightest star in the sky, and then you know which way space is. Actually, no, I don't. I don't know. And then I went to, because that's the thing, like, I'm not outdoorsy, my sense of direction is fucking terrible. Went to BCF to try and, you know, get some stuff, and I said to the guy, you know, the boat camp, what was it, boat camping fishing store, you know, the outdoorsy place. And I said to the guy behind the desk, I was like, mate, going camping, I'm not really good at this stuff, my sense of direction's terrible. I reckon I need a compass. Do you sell compasses? And he just looks at me dead in the eye and goes, yeah, over on the southeast wall.
It is, however, it's fucking great to be here because now the borders are open, I've seen the alternative. I have seen what else there is, right? But for the first time in 4 years last year, I went back to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival and I discovered that the single most savage people in the entire world are old Scottish ladies that are just trying to be polite. So the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is a bit like the Perth Fringe Festival, but fucking huge. There is 4,000 shows. There's every sort of show that you could imagine. That wasn't one of the jokes, that was a fact, but I like that you got involved. 4,000 shows at the Edinburgh Fringe, every sort of comedy you could imagine. And I was leaving the venue on the first night of Edinburgh Fringe this year, and there was an old Scottish lady in front of me in a little tweed skirt and a silk scarf around her head. And as she was walking out of the venue, this group of drama students came running up to her. They was dead excited, and they were like, excuse me, would you like to come to our show this evening? It's an improv show. It's all about Dungeons and Dragons. And they gave her a flyer, and this old Scottish lady took the flyer, looked at it, looked at them, and said, oh, no thanks, darling, it sounds shite. Wow. And yet for some reason, I would rather go back to Edinburgh than do shows in a little place called Sweden. You guys have heard of Sweden, right? I don't, like, honestly, I'm just assuming that you've heard of Sweden. For those of you who don't know Sweden, it's an entire country where everyone looks like a sexy version of ABBA. But the thing is with Sweden is culturally, it is inappropriate to show emotion in a public place. That means that they're not allowed to cry in public, they're not allowed to shout in public, and they're not allowed to laugh in public. Yeah, and that makes being a stand-up comedian at the comedy club in Stockholm very fucking difficult. I meant the first time I ever did the comedy club in Stockholm, I was on for 30 minutes, and every time I did a joke, 180 Swedish people would do this. And that is very hard to work with as a stand-up comedian. So I did what any comedian would do in that situation at the end of the show, especially an English guy. I went to a bar and I drank to forget. I was in a bar, I was just smacking back vodkas, and a little Swedish man came into the bar and he'd recognised me from the comedy show. He took off his leather jacket, he walked over to me very calm, very patient. He tapped me on the shoulder and he said, "Excuse me, Mr. Andrew Silverwood. I just want to say, the thing you did at the comedy club this evening, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Thank you, good night." Right, a couple of things about that one. If you think I'm good at this job, that's fucking great, because I've been doing it for a decade, and if I was shit at this job, I would hope at some point one of you would have taken me to the side and said, "Hey Andrew, have you ever Googled office jobs in London?" But number two, he said I was, his words, not mine, the funniest thing he'd ever seen in his, like the funniest thing he's seen in his life. Now, if any of you this evening are walking home tonight thinking, "Fuck me, that English guy, the one that looked like Woody from Toy Story, got lost at a Mardi Gras," he was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. If any of you think of that, get fucking Netflix.